to begin the function by calling upon our founding Chancellor, Mr. K.V. Ramani, to address the gathering. We are honored by the presence of this remarkable leader, the founding Chancellor of India's first international university, who was a visionary and a pioneer in the field of IT, a dedicated philanthropist, and a champion for the underprivileged. Mr. Ramani stands as a pioneer in the field of information technology in India, earning the distinction of being India's first IT-age entrepreneur. He is celebrated as the visionary who laid the very foundation of the IT sector in our country by setting up two successful IT companies, Future Software and Hughes Software. His remarkable journey began as he embarked on a mission to transform India's technological landscape, championing the cause of innovation and entrepreneurship. He co-founded and served as a chairman of NASSCOM, the apex body for the IT BPM industry in India. He's been honored by the Honorable Prime Minister for creating a brand of New India as co-founder of NASSCOM and for his role in providing invaluable leadership and guidance. But Mr. Ramani's legacy isn't confined to just boardrooms and tech parks. He's a true philanthropist at heart with a deep commitment to social causes. He's empowered countless underprivileged individuals by providing them with access to education, medical care, and meals. His compassionate approach to addressing societal issues has made a profound impact on the lives of many, and his legacy is an inspiration to us all. A man of immense vision, Mr. K.V. Ramani has set his sights on an ambitious goal to see India's higher education institutions rank among the top 100 globally. This vision led him to establish Sai University, an institution committed to providing education of international standards to the young minds of India. Through his tireless efforts, Sai University has become a symbol of excellence and innovation, a testament to his unwavering commitment to shaping the future of education in our country. As the founding Chancellor of Sai University, Mr. Ramani continues to be a beacon of inspiration, nurturing the next generation of leaders and innovators. His vision for India's future and his dedication to education through Sai University serve as an inspiration to all of us. I'd now like to call upon our founding Chancellor to address the gathering.
Good morning, friends. I don't want to take a long time addressing each one of our distinguished gathering from the university as well as the parents and students assembled here. So we will call all of you as friends. That shows the culture with which we're starting Sai University. Each and every single person is associated with the respect and fellowship that they deserve. So once again, good morning, friends. I'm here to talk to you about Sai University, its vision and mission. May I ask a question? Why are we starting at another university? This country has several hundred universities. After I quit active IT industry, sold my two companies, started an NGO. We were helping people, primarily first-generation graduates. We used to help scholarships with almost 3,000 students each year, sponsored by schools and colleges. We used to assist people who were in medical emergencies. And we, of course, we used to sponsor food in places, shelters, and homeless senior citizens and children. But one thing touched upon me at that time was that if these 3,000 people we are helping each year, how many more are there who are not touched upon by us, who are not even known to us, who are struggling to get an education? So I'm going to give you a few examples, because nothing explains the basics better than anecdotes. That we had a girl student who had done 98% in board exams. And her father was a lift operator in an apartment block, making 2,500, 2,800 rupees a month. This girl had scored 98% in board exam. My father said, I cannot afford higher education. Can you please go take up a job? Anything which you can do. Tailoring, embroidery, whatever you can. Bring a few thousand rupees so we can put food on the table. That is a pathetic situation. So this girl somehow approached us, and we sponsored the child for 4 years for a BTech computer science. And after 4 years, that student joined IT company on a monthly salary of 18,000 rupees. Almost 7 times the salary of her father. Within 2 years, from low-income group, the family moved to a middle-income group. Just 4 years of undergraduate education. Just imagine what this means. I'm going to briefly touch upon 2 other cases, just so that you get a sample for what we've done. There was a boy student who had done 95% from Avadi. Father was an agriculture daily wage worker who did not get more than 200 days of employment in a year. And you can put an average monthly income of somewhere in the region of 2,000 rupees. After 95%, they could not afford higher education. He wanted to become an automobile engineer. Same, repeat. Those who are familiar with programming language, perform do loop. So we did the same process, and the person joined Ashok Leyland as a design engineer, and then later post-graduation at Sai University, and today is R&D manager of Ashok Leyland. You can imagine, families' income level should be in the 30-40 lakhs a year at least. All because of 4 years of undergraduate education. And most recently, another boy was from Mahabalipuram. Father runs a kiosk shop. Wanted to do marine engineering in ECR, AMET or some college like that. Father couldn't afford it. We sponsored that boy. Now he's a marine engineer working with a leading European shipping line, taking 2-3 voyages a year and having happy times. The reason I'm saying this is to tell you the power of education. So many of you here, to be able to even afford a higher education, are privileged. I'm not saying this with any ill-meaning context, but to say the importance of education is what I want to highlight. Then given this importance of higher education, which we're working on, we wanted to do something more in the field of higher education. Then we did some research through consulting firms and found that every year 7 lakh students each year are going for undergrad studies from India to foreign countries. 7 lakh students. If you've not been woken up by a cup of coffee or tea, now is the time to wake up. Because each of these families are spending approximately 1.2 crores for a 4-year program. Many of you would have done your data analysis because the tuition fee itself is about 25 lakhs per year. Living expenses about 5 lakhs per year. The minimum I'm taking it. 30 lakhs per year on a 4-year program is 1.2 crores. Look at 7 lakh students spending 1.2 crores. For what? Undergraduate education? Are we incompetent people in India? Do we have to send our children for higher education abroad? I do understand that institutions abroad are much more established, have a lot of talented faculty, well-established infrastructure, labs, research facilities, libraries, everything that goes with the academic ecosystem. But I do believe that the students perhaps need to go there when they want to do a master's or a PhD. This is my view. You should not be seeking higher education for undergraduate abroad. You should be looking at postgraduate education. If you're looking for doing research, a doctoral program, postdoctoral program, it makes a lot of sense because we take some time to establish those facilities in India. So out of this wish became the vision, a dream, to say, why can't we build an international university in India? Our studies showed that out of all our leading universities, after 75 years of independence, not even one university is in the top 100 in Times International Ranking or QS International Ranking. Our most eminent IITs come in the region of 125 to 175, which is very, very creditable. But considering the time that they've been there, I would imagine that at least a few of them were within the top 100. So we said, why don't we start a university of international standards in India, be the first international university in India. And thank you. And make it to the top 100 in reasonably short span of time. It's a huge challenge. It's a vision. It's a dream we're going to be chasing. Because if you see the top institutions of Ivy Leagues in the US, they're 100 plus years old. Stanford is 130 years old. Harvard is even older. So we are not talking about establishing them in 5 years or 10 years or whatever. But it is a vision. It's a dream. It's a roadmap. We have made a beginning. We want to get there. And when we get there, we'll be the first. As somebody said, why do you want to climb Mount Everest? The reply was, just because it is there. Why do you want to go to the moon? Just because it is there. So we want to be in the top 100 of international universities just because we want to belong to that list of elitist universities in the world. And friends, I have another view of looking at things, coming from IT industry where we are startups. The late 80s, when we used to go for getting business in US and Europe, we are often asked the question, where is software in India? We only heard of saints and cows in the streets in India, which is a fact. One client famously asked me, I'm a little confused. Have you come here to sell software or buy software? Because there was no software in India at that time. So we had to establish an industry from zilch to what is today $235 billion. It's bigger than entire oil imports of India, which is about $190 billion. The Honorable Prime Minister has told us that by 2030, he wants the software industry to bring in $500 billion of forex to this country. And of course, with a few colleagues in the Chairman's Emeritus Council of NASSCOM, we are working on how to do the strategizing for this growth. Why am I saying this? We set our mind, we can make it happen. We are not the only industry that made it happen. Healthcare industry has seen in 35 years when people are going abroad for treatment. Now we have patients coming from around the world to India for treatment. During the pandemic, we have seen that India was the only country which produced, apart from the US, 3 vaccines. 2 on its own, 1 JV with a foreign company. We are one of the few countries in space mission. We are one of the few countries in nuclear mission. I can go on. If you're doing all of this, where is the talent coming from all of these industries? Where is the talent coming from IT industry, for healthcare industry, biotech industry? Where is the talent coming for nuclear energy industry? The talent coming from defense industry, space industry? Are we going to send our children abroad, educate, and come back? Take it from me, less than 10% are coming back. We all know the fact. It is a personal choice. I don't want to make a statement whether they're doing the right thing or wrong thing. From their personal point of view, they're doing what they believe is the right, and I appreciate that decision. I have no complaints with that decision. But I am saying that if this country was to go forward, if our young adults have to have opportunities to study and perform, grow, create wealth in this country, and build a nation, and also build their own strengths and their families and their wealth, we should do something about the higher education ecosystem. Creating wealth, I believe, is a good thing. There's nothing wrong with creating wealth. Sharing wealth is even better. But of course, first you have to create wealth before you can share it. So I believe that as an industry, higher education has become one of the biggest businesses in this country. And we want to change that model as well. We want to say that how can we do higher education as a service industry, not as a business for profit. Of course, we do hope to make some surpluses in the years ahead as we go along, because the cost of education of the quality we provide is very high. But those surpluses will not be taken for the family's benefit, but will be reinvested in the Sai University for its development of infrastructure, labs, faculty, library, research, all of that, so that the students and the faculty and the industry benefit. The idea is that's a way we can create a shortcut to success. That success is what we are seeking. So to come back to Sai University, therefore the vision is to establish an international university from India. And to create that, my colleagues are going to talk to you about how we have done things differently. But I'm going to tell you the conceptual design of the university in a few minutes. One, first and foremost, we put together most eminent board of governors of this country. We have 18-member board of governors with 4 Padma Vibhushans and a Padma Shri. No other company in India, no other education institution, no other institution in India has a board of governors of this reputation. And they are there not because of their success, but they are there because of their multidisciplinary nature, expertise they bring to the university. From IT to healthcare to law to space sciences to nuclear sciences and so on and so forth, management, all of it. And second, we have one of the best faculty that you can be proud of in this country. You're going to be listening to some of them. I can say that this is the topmost faculty you can get anywhere in this country. You not only have the faculty that you have qualified abroad, they've taught abroad, they come back with a passion to teach students in India. They all bring in with their valuable experience that they gain from various universities abroad. So we have the collective wisdom of multiple universities here. And in addition to that, we also have almost 30% visiting faculty who are taking classes from abroad, from very leading Ivy League institutions, thanks to the connections and networking of our Honorable Vice Chancellor, Dr. Barucha, that he has been able to bring in senior faculty and professors, eminent professors from institutions like Harvard and Stanford to teach students in Sai University. I must tell you that it was a very exhilarating experience last year when we had a Professor Mitchell from Stanford teaching computer science to our students. At the same time as he was teaching Stanford students, he was teaching in 2 screens. One screen was Stanford students, the other screen was Sai University students. It's an online class. So that is the quality of education. You can see some of that in our website and some of that you can see in our YouTube channel. The reason I'm saying this is the quality of faculty that you must look for an institution because that is the ultimate point touch point which the students and parents are going to be looking for. And the third is the curriculum. The curriculum brings forth multidisciplinary, interdisciplinary education. That has not been brought in the scale that we are doing. There are people who have liberal arts or liberal sciences institutions, but Sai University is a liberal education university, the first of its kind in India. What does it mean? Is that you can do a major in arts or sciences, and you can do a minor, for example, in computer science, or audit a course in law. You can do a major in computer and science, data sciences, or computing science, or data science alone. At the same time, you can audit a course in economics, politics, subject of your choice, literature, just so that you get a flavor of what it means to get well-rounded education. Third is we have the law school. The law school programs are very strictly defined by Bar Council, so they need to have for the BA LLB program, the mandatory courses for BA are economics, psychology, and political science, and of course all the other law courses. But then they can also audit courses in either of the other schools, computer science school or arts and science school in the world. And in India, with the same international faculty, with the international curriculum, at a fraction of the cost, and without the social, economic disadvantages of sending your young adults abroad in their teens. So the fourth part of it is we have an infrastructure. We have in OMR Payyanur, we have about 103 acres of land, which is designated for the university, where we are building up the academic infrastructure and the residence infrastructure as you go along. And that's a challenge because in India, infrastructure building takes about 18 to 24 months. So we building the infrastructure, each year one academic building and a residence building, and we develop it as we go along. And last but not the least, the most important part of the ecosystem are the students. We are not seeking students based on one entrance test, CAT, MAT, RAT, JAT, whatever it's called. Because we believe judging a student based on one score, one test, is not being fair to the student. Because they could have had a bad day. They could have been unwell. They could have been underprepared. They could have had certain other disturbances that is socioeconomic. We do not want to get into that level. So we put together an admission system which involves 5 parameters. The school scores, 10th and 12th. Second, a testimonial from the school, because ultimately where they study, their teachers, the faculty, or HM would know the student better than us. Third is their performance outside the school extracurricular activities, because it's important to have well-rounded personality, not just marks. Marks are important. In our view, marks are not the only thing. Marks are important, but they're not the only thing. After you finish your 12th, when you do a UG admission, your 12th marks are taken into account. But when you go to PG, 12 marks are forgotten. They only remember UG marks. When you go for postgraduate, they only want to do what you did in your undergraduate. So in our view, marks give a direction about the student's performance, what is called learning trajectory, and it is not an evaluation of the potential of the student. If all the students are 99% and above, I don't think we need teachers. My view, I'm sorry, my distinguished colleague may disagree, because if the 99% students can learn themselves. The key is that we need to have good performance, we need to have good extracurricular activities, we need to have good testimony from school, And then we need to have one of the entrance tests, any of the public tests or our Sai University aptitude test. And last but not the least, the fifth parameter is we have an interaction with the admissions team or a faculty member to understand with the student and our system how they interact very well. So the admission process is based on a 5-pillar approach again. So they select the students who have the biggest potential, and the awareness of the university is that we're a young university. We're only in the 3rd year. We're right now starting the admissions process for the 4th year. It takes years to build a university. But what we've done so far, we seem to be doing something right. Because what we set out in 2018 as a syllabus for the university and curriculum has almost become part of the National New Education Policy 2020, 2 years later. So it seems like at least we're doing something right. What we're doing in 2018, the government has officially announced it as a policy in 2020. Same way, we have a system where our Vice Chancellor, our deans, and faculty members have put together a continuous system of assessment, not based on one test score. Again, that has been accepted by the new education policy. We have put together the flexibility course, which UGC has now recognized with a new title called Choice-Based Credit System. So whatever we are doing is getting recognized in a year or two later by the government bodies. Incidentally, we are registered as a state-private university by an act of Tamil Nadu legislature, and we are approved by UGC with a degree granting approved. And the UGC inspects us once in 2 years to ensure the quality systems are in progress, so to make sure that we can award the degree. Other than that, we have complete autonomy. We have more autonomy as a state-private university than deemed universities or autonomous colleges to design courses, curriculum, number of students, and so on and so forth. And lastly, I want to say the early years of the university, we do not want to take thousands of students and admit them en masse and find that the quality suffers. Therefore, we consciously take a decision to take in only a few hundred students each year until we set our systems and processes in place. And we see that we provide a good, high-quality education in India, and the students are the testimonials of that quality of education. We prove that they go in for higher education to Ivy League universities abroad, or those who seek employment go into top placement companies. And before I conclude, many of you may have questions. What is the benefit or outcome of this model? I'll just simply say, coming from tech sector, the top 5 tech companies of the world today, Google, Apple, Microsoft, Amazon, you can take them. Their CEOs have come from a multidisciplinary or liberal education university. They are not from just a single discipline. So I want to prove to you that demonstrates the model. And that tells you what the vision is, what we're trying to achieve. And we are here in the seminar today to seek students and parents, give information, and find those students who want to join us, to welcome them